What's going on, everybody? You've got the crazy dog back for another video. This time, it's the AFC South draft review and season preview for this year. So, first off, let's start with the team that many thought was going to make the Super Bowl last year. I heard so many guys predicting they were going to make it. I mean, you bring in a guy like Andre Johnson and a few other guys, and you still can't do it? Frank Gore? God. And that team I'm talking about, if you haven't guessed, is the Indianapolis Colts. So, their draft, they got first round, Ryan Kelly, center, Alabama, to help that offensive line. They got TJ Green, who plays defense. I think he's like a safety or something from Clemson. LaRaven Clark, another offensive player. I believe he is an offensive tackle. Yep, he's an offensive tackle. I'm actually looking at the draft right now, so that's how I know. Hassan Ridgeway, linebacker out of Texas. Honestly, yeah, he's a defensive tackle. Okay, so, yeah. Then they got Antonio Morrison, another linebacker. Joe Hag, who is a lineman, offensive tackle out of North Dakota State. I think he was like one of two with Wentz. Trevor Bates was drafted. He's a linebacker. And finally, just Austin Blythe, who was a center. So they only went offense, I think, like 4 times, which is very crazy for a team that was so unproductive on offense last year. Now, I will admit, their defense was not as good either. So you kind of had to go try to your hardest to fill both spots. They didn't give him any weapons. They did not give Andrew Luck any weapons. They gave him protection, but no weapons. I personally believe the Colts will probably wind up finishing, if not first, because they're just good enough to probably finish first, maybe second at most. Because Houston, they are coming. Brock Osweiler, many people think he's going to have a bad year. I don't know. I think he'll have a pretty good year, to be honest with you. And so, speaking of Houston, let's see what they did. So, in the first round, they drafted Will Fuller, a weapon for Brock Osweiler, and put him across from DeAndre Hopkins. At number 2 selection, they got Nick Martin out of Notre Dame. Another good pickup. He was a guard. At number 3, they got Braxton Miller, another receiver. Number 4, they got Tyler Irvin, running back. Number 5, they got KJ Dillon, who's a safety. And their last 5th round selection was DJ Reader, nose tackle. So, there you go. They gave Brock Osweiler tons of good weapons, and I think he'll prosper in this system. So, alright, sorry about that. Got interrupted. But I think the Texans are going to be a very good team this year. They got weapons for Brock Osweiler, which I know he's going to love him. Will Fuller, across from DeAndre Hopkins. That's a dynamic duo waiting to happen. Now on to a team. Now, I believe Houston will either win the division or finish second. They're not going to, maybe, third. Depends on how the Jags do. Speaking of Jacksonville, they were very active in free agency. And they were also very active in draft day. So, they got, in the first round, Jalen Ramsey. Very good pickup. I honestly thought he was either going to go to Jacksonville or Dallas. And, well, he went to Jacksonville. Not that far from Florida State. Ooh, wow, excuse me. Oh, I'm always doing that during videos. So inappropriate. Second round, they traded up. Yeah, they traded from the Ravens. They got Miles Jack. Yeah, Miles Jack. There's mock drafts that had Miles going to the Jags in the first round. But they got Jalen and Jack, so that's 2 first-round players in the first 2 rounds. That shows you that not a lot of people really trusted Jack's knee, but I guess the Jags do trust it. So we'll see where that goes. Then in the 3rd round, the Jags got defensive end Yannick Ngakoue out of Maryland. Good, depth move for that amazing looking defense. Then they got Sheldon Day, another defensive player, nose tackle. Tyrone Holmes, I believe. Oh, whoops. And let's see, Tyrone Holmes, he is a linebacker out of Montana. Good pick. Brandon Allen, he is a quarterback. So they got another quarterback there. Out of Arkansas. Good, depth. Give him a 2nd string quarterback, or 3rd string. And then they got Jonathan Woodard at the end of the draft in round 7, the 5th pick of the 7th round. They got Jonathan Woodard out of Central Arkansas, defensive end. I think they may be fitting up to maybe make a run at the South. So we'll see how that goes. You don't want to really be too on their bandwagon, because I'm not a bandwagon fan. So we'll see where the Jags go. They had a very eventful free agency. I think they're going to be pretty good this year. Gus Bradley's been given enough chances. If there's any time to do something, it's now. I think they're going to finish at least 3rd in a very, very up for grabs division. If not 3rd, then maybe 2nd. Depends on how Houston and Indy do. But I think that at least they're going to finish 3rd. Now for the team that's going to finish last for probably another few years. The Tennessee Titans. They had a very eventful draft. Their first pick, they got it from us. We traded down, and they got Jack Conklin. So there you go. More protection, more life insurance, you might say, for Marcus Mariota. Then they got defensive lineman Kevin Dodd. Then they got another defensive, like a linebacker, Austin Johnson. More specifically, he is a nose tackle. I keep saying the linebackers. I need to look at their positions. Then, 2nd round, they had this is their 3rd of the 2nd round picks. They picked up Derrick Henry out of Alabama. So DeMarco Murray may have some competition for that running spot, for the starting running back position. Some people are going to say, oh, he's going to start. Well, Derrick Henry probably won't want to start too, so we'll see where that goes. Then they got round 3, Kevin Beard out of Middle Tennessee State. He is a safety, mainly for depth. They got Tajay Sharp, who is a monster. Just telling you that he's a monster out of UMass. A receiver, another weapon for Mariota. Then they got LaShawn Sims out of Southern Utah, a lot corner to help that secondary out. Then they drafted Sebastian Tretola out of Arkansas, an offensive guard. Good pickup there. Aaron Wallace in the 7th round, linebacker. And the last pick was Kalen Reed, who was a corner. So, there you go. That's all the draft picks. I think Tennessee will be last. They probably won't make a play for I don't think they're going to make a play for the division for a few years. Maybe in a few years, yes, when these guys, get experience and start rolling for real, but I give them a few years. This team ain't going to, Jacksonville is getting good. Indy, they're there. Houston's getting pretty good. So Tennessee, it's just the wrong time right now. They're trying, but I don't think it'll be this year. So that's it for the AFC South. I will be back starting with the NFC, with the first division. I believe I'm going to start with the NFC East, because I really want to get that division done, because there's going to be a lot of stuff to say about that division. I'll tell you that. So Gonna do it for me. I'm Crazy Dog 99, and I'm out.